Here's a good one, Danisa, for you. Why should a Christian woman need sex therapy?
Christian woman, and there's so many Christian things that we are confused about what is appropriate, what is not appropriate. Let's start out that a little bit for you. First is that our lives, our bodies, are not just flesh and blood and biology. They are spirit and they are soul. And that is the way that we were created. So, the same way that we need to take care of our spiritual self and our emotional self, we may need to take care of our physical body. So, the difference between caring for all of these things should not be based on if we are a believer or not. It should be based on what is the need that I have, where in my entire being there is a deficiency that I need to seek professional help or spiritual help or psychological help. So, what we see typically is that a Christian woman thinks, particularly with sex therapy, that is something that is dirty, that is something that is not good. That when you talk about sex therapy, it's more about things that are unwholesome, maybe
Not pure.
yes.
I think that might come, Danisa, from a mindset. I think we grew in a culture that continues to build that belief that because you're a woman, you cannot express your sexuality. You don't have that liberty, that freedom. And I think that's wrong because God made
Yes.
equally, He made sexuality equal for men and for women.
Well, but also to add to that, we see that in the present days, women are trying to fight against that and they're trying to find their sexual voice. But who's representing? Who is voicing for you that sexuality? Typically, we see in social media and culture a feminist, extremist person that has something against men, that has something against life, against the world, and it is the wrong motivation. Or they want to go to the extreme of exploiting their bodies because they want to show that it's not that big of a deal, and if guys can do it, we can do it. This is not what sex therapy, at least not Christian sex therapy, points you into. Christian sex therapy is based on good moral values and principles. And what it does is, like any other science, like a doctor would try to figure out why do you have a headache, why you have an inflammation on your arm. Sex therapy is going to take a look at why do you have low desire, why do you struggle to reach an orgasm, why do you over experience sexual desire, why are you experiencing pain. These are very legitimate issues.
The low confidence. Why is it that you don't embrace your sexuality? You don't feel so comfortable with it? Yeah.
Exactly. So it's not something that is taking you out of your beliefs and your values and your morality. It is something that is going to look at a problem or an issue that you in particular are experiencing, and it's going to help you figure out a way of coming out of there. And that is actually the good news. A Christian woman can look for sex therapy and can find healing, can find solutions for whatever problems she's facing. I will caution you, do find someone that shares your faith, someone that has similar values, so that when they're imparting their wisdom or their guidance or giving you a treatment plan, it goes according not only to resolving those problems, but there's not a division or a separation from what you hold dear and important in terms of value and faith.
So important to learn to know yourself and know what your needs are, to identify them. And I feel, Danisa, that in general, the Christian community, at least from the years past, I think it has grown into accepting more and more and normalize the whole psychological therapy and help that could benefit people. But I think it's important to understand that a good therapy is like good discipleship. And whether it's in the spiritual, in the emotional, it also could be great in the sexual. So I'm even thinking, Danisa, how about the guys? The question was kind of came
kind of woman.
yeah, but what about kind of men receive sex therapy? Of course you can. Of course you need to find someone accountable. You need someone to open up your heart and tell you what you're struggling with.
Well, and Jorge, let's spell it out. What are some of the struggles that will make a Christian, a believer man, need sex therapy?
A lot of guys come to our office because they don't feel the desire. They have a low libido. They feel that they don't have the energy, or they don't know how to pursue their wives. They don't know
Yes.
how to throw out some bits of connection, bits of, they feel like they have been robbed the freedom, or they feel that they don't know how to go about it. And the case is that typically you get married. You come from, you get married when you're young because you want to keep your purity as a Christian and all that.
Yes.
But then you don't even get the right training. You don't even know what you're doing. So when you get to marriage, you might have brought a lot of voids and a lot of questions, a lot of uncertainties, insecurities.
Another reason that I can think of that will bring a male to Christian to sex therapy is the fact that there might be some physical dysfunctions. Either a lack of knowledge in the usage, the appropriate usage. We've had questions before about penis sizes, time in interchange sexually. Should it be 5 minutes? Should it be half hour? So sometimes there's a lack of knowledge, not enough training, but also legitimate dysfunctions.
That's very good. And in our practice, in our counseling center, we are very specific. We even give assignments for you guys to take home and explore. How can we improve our sex life? And that's something that you can only obtain through sex therapy. I mean, I don't think you can pray for, you can pray, obviously. We want you to pray. But I don't think that alone is going to resolve.
We need to have a strategy.
I mean, it cannot just resolve something that is in your mind that you have not been able to talk it through
or
with an expert, with a professional. So it is important that you embrace the different possibilities of healing and restoration that God Himself provides for His body. I think
and
the
hard truth is that recent research is showing that pornography, sex addiction is at the same levels in the church and outside the church. So as believers, are we going to do something about it? Do we really want to seek healing and have a proven method of something that encourages your faith, that uses the scriptural base that you believe, but that also gives you tangible ways of being accountable?
And the other thing is that we need to normalize sexuality. Normalize it. Make it an everyday thing, because you have been created as a sexual being.
Yes.
God created sex. Your sexuality should be something precious. It's a gift from Him. And somehow, as we were growing up, something got in our minds. Distorted information. And now we believe it's bad. No, you don't go there. So here you go. The night of the wedding.
Yes.
Sex is bad today, and then I get married tomorrow. And then tomorrow, oh wait, sex is good. Now I can have sex. So if you don't prepare yourself, and even for these younger generations, all these youth that is growing and being exposed to all these amazing messages of faith, they need to know the truth. They need to know that there's sexuality that has been given by God as a precious gift. They need to protect it. They need to save it to the right moment, develop it at the right time, when to give it to other. And that's marriage, obviously, is what we encourage. And how they can enjoy something that was meant and designed with such high standard, with such high, crafted in a way that was meant to be enjoyable and to produce pleasure and satisfaction.
So can a man or a woman that is a Christian seek Sex therapy? The answer is
yes.
There are plenty of reasons that will give you opportunities for growth, for healing, for change, for transformation, and for being empowered to have the most amazing relationship that God has dreamed in His heart for you.